Hello, everyone. Welcome to day 5 of our beautiful A Month on Mahatmas. So, today is our speaker, Ramya. Ramya is an amazing girl who is doing her education on psychology, and she is studying in Jyoti Dimas College, the final year. But then she has gathered loads of other lifetime certificates. She has done a course with Asha the Hope. She is working for different NGOs on the concepts of handling, children from the less privileged. She is working on a project with Christ College, and she is doing much more for many other organizations and NGO. And she is also an intern with St. Mother Teresa University for Digital Education Excellence and Sustainability Development, helping us do more of what we are good at. So welcome, Ramya, to the show, and we are so happy that you're our speaker 5, and I'm super glad to have you on our show, A Month on Mahatma. And A Month on Mahatmas, actually, we are talking about 4 Mahatmas here. One Mahatma Gandhi ji and Saint Mother Teresa. We are talking about our Honorable ex-President APJ Abdul Kalam and the Peace Ambassador Nelson Mandela. So I'm glad you're here with us today, and this conversation is going to be amazing. And I would also love to welcome our Design Department Head of St. Mother Teresa University, Dr. Dawson Jasper James. Welcome to our show, sir. Thanks for your undivided attention which you give for us. St. Mother Teresa University, for all your support and love that you show to us. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Doctor. It's a pleasure working with you. The reason behind is our karma is fulfilled. We want to spread light, and we want to spread education across, and we need to create a flat world, give the opportunity for the people who are underprivileged. So today the digital education is going to be seamless across the globe. What your initiative is great, and we are here to support you.
Thank you. Thank you. I've received, and I love and enjoy the frequency I have with the youngsters, with the digital world, with my mentors, with my peers, with the board of governors. So the universe is blessing us immensely. Let us move forward with miracles and manifestations. So thank you so much for being on the show, Ramya. Welcome again. So which is the Mahatma you're going to speak about? I am very inquisitive to know that, because it's a spontaneous show. We don't prepare. It's just the thought process we talk about. And we give the leverage for the youngsters to choose their Mahatma and also their quote. So here we go to know who Ramya is going to choose. Tell us more about it, Ramya.
Thank you, ma'am, for giving me this opportunity. Firstly, I want to say that I'm in the second year, not in the final year.
Oh my God. And okay, so you have one more year to go.
Yes. And firstly, like there are like 4 great people. I would like to talk about everybody, but there is one person who's very close to my heart. I would say like I've always looked up to him. It is Kalam sir. And so he's been like very inspiring, not only to me, to my entire family, I would say. Like we would keep talking about him, like my parents, they keep telling us the stories about his life histories. So this has been like very much like into me, that I've always looked up to him. So I really wanted to talk about him.
That's really nice, because we had the very, very important person of Lead India Foundation yesterday, the president of Lead India Foundation. So APJ Abdul Kalam is a global inspirer. He is an influencer. He is a person who walked the talk. So not only a scientist, but also for me, he is a humble and simple man with loads of expectations from the youth. So he believed that the youth of the country has the power to transform India into incredible India. So I'm so glad you are going to speak about him. So what is the quote that you chose, Ramya? What is the quote you're going to talk about?
Just like you said, incredible India, like there's this one quote that I've been carrying it for like many years, I would say. Like it has been like the purpose of education is to make good human beings with skill and expertise. And the enlightened human beings can be created by teachers. And I think this is like very important. If Kalam sir, if he became the person who he is, I think it's all because of his teachers. And it has been mentioned even in The Wings of Fires, his autobiography with Arun Tiwari. So I think it is very important that we have like teachers, and people, they help us, like they become an instrument to us to reach where we want to reach. And that's what happened to Kalam sir as well. So this is the quote that I really cherish, I would say.
Yes, I'm so glad you're talking about the importance of education, because Kalam insisted that education is the only key. We can step up the world only through education, because education is something which cannot be snatched, which cannot be, given away as a hierarchy to be passed on, or it cannot have legal heirs or whatever. Whatever you learn is yours and you take it with you. So I always say, let's die empty, because the knowledge what we have, let us share with the world. Let's spread this incredible knowledge to the world and make education the single most important thing. In fact, I always go one step ahead and keep telling my husband it should become a basic need. Just like how we have food, water, shelter, education should become a basic need. So I'm glad you're talking about the importance of education. And can you tell me some of the favorite quotes of Kalam which you like?
There's this one more quote that he said, like the youth can either build a nation or they can destroy a nation. I think this also comes from the same purpose of like having an education. Like if we are in the right path, we can I think the youths can like develop this nation economically, socially, politically. I think that was his whole view, I would say. He really wanted the students to get them into a right path with his quotes based only on education. And that's why I think the youths also love him for like who he was. He was always like, pushing the youths to come forward and take a lead. And this is one more quote that I really love.
Very true, very true. Dr. Dawson Jasper James, do you have a question for our beautiful Ramya?
Definitely. Hi, Ramya.
Hi, sir.
You're open for questions. So I know you from day one. You are one person who is extremely prepared and also well-read person. So this question is not a challenge question for you. My simple question is, how are you going to help youngsters and old people, let's say, when I say old, 50 and above, to bring them back to basic life, like how Kalam envisioned India? 2020, the mark is missed. So another 10 years, we have to ensure India is going to outsmart the entire world. When I say outsmart, we are not going to suppress other countries. We need to be above the game. So what is your action plan and suggestion for the next generation and also the generation gone by? What are you going to give us as a model, as a template? What should we follow? Because I know you will answer any question under the sun, I have the confidence, but I want you to give a prescription. You look like a doctor already.
Thank you, sir. I would suggest that, I think we need more teachers with open-minded. I think we need teachers who are self-aware about themselves and who are ready to help the people. And I think we need compassionate teachers and empathetic teachers who understand what the people think. I think there is no right or wrong answers or thought process or anything. I think we need to understand people's perspectives, and I think through that we can actually understand the youths and the past generations. Through this, I think we can develop more, understanding the perspectives. We can come up with strategies that can envision 2020, and that's what Kalam sir always told. I think we need to understand people, and that's what happened to him as well. His parents were very understanding. His mother was very understanding, who when he said he wanted to go to ISRO, or when he wanted to go to NASA, I think their friends, their family, everybody were very supportive. I think we need to be empathetic, compassionate to understand what the exactly people need.
And your action plan, please. What do you want us to do from tomorrow or
I think,
right
sir,
now?
I think, sir, all of us will have to be like a little bit kind enough to
Mm-hmm.
understand. I think if we are going to get frustrated or annoyed by other people's like thought process, I think it will be a disaster. Instead, we could be a little bit kind, and if we try to understand what the other person is going through, and if we wear their shoes and understand, okay, like this is what is going to happen, or this is what they think, we can instead like help them. I think even the other person should be like very open minded. I think if everybody is little bit open minded to everything, and if you welcome everybody's perspectives and thoughts, I think we will like get into a better side of India.
Wonderful. So you're going to become an oracle very soon, I believe. You know who is an oracle?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, doctor.
Thank you. See, if you would start counting, if you would start counting, she would have used around 15 times of I think. And Kalam actually wanted people to think. Thinking is not followed by many people because it is the most easiest thing to do. Thinking is the very concept of raising India to the next level. We need more entrepreneurs, we need more scholars, we need more researchers, we need more counselors who can think out of the box. It's not about the certificate, it's not about what is the scorecard you have. It is how you do the transition when there is a chance to perform, or how do you react when there is a real-time disaster. How you will react to a 6-year-old child. You know, how much of respect, love, and support you can give a person who is struggling with his life, be it in his personal, psychological, or professional life. What if the youngster doesn't know what move to take next? Especially when you are not there and they're in a different situation now, and you have to help them take a decision. How involved or inclined you are towards that. That is what Kalam was talking about. Kalam was talking about having role models who are real role models. He was not the one who was talking about the bookish knowledge. He was talking about how you're going to react during the given situation. He said, show me how you behave to a waiter or an auto driver, or to a person with a job menial than yours, and I'll tell you who you are. Because you cannot show your power to your subordinate, or you cannot show your class to someone who is below you, because they're looking up to you. They want to come to your level, or they want to take their life by leading by example, or they're already telling inspiring stories about you to their children. So you are not aware what they're going through or what is happening. So it is important to be kind. Like Ramya rightly said, if you get a chance to be correct or kind, choose kindness. Because when you are kind, you're already putting a quality in a person's mind. You know, you're inspiring them, you are nobilizing the cause, and you are spreading dynamism. So kindness is a very important factor. Kindness is very important at this time of pandemic, at this time of contemporary world, where we are living in a flat world. See, we all are on Zoom. We are in a platform where all of us can see each other, talk to each other, and we can do an impact. So Ramya brought out a point called education. So I would say we are in a better stage for education than our last decade, because education is you have a question, Dolson? Yes.
I'm sorry, doctor. Please complete. Please complete. You're saying something. I didn't want to interrupt.
Sure. I'll just finish this and give you a chance. Like I was talking about how we were not lucky enough. Like before 10 years, we didn't have a Zoom, or we could not connect to person sitting in UK or US and talk like this on Zoom. But today we are living in a flat world. What Nandan Nilekani said, in India shining. We are all shining because we can talk across the globe. All that you need is technology. You need the technological know-how, which is easy to learn. And we need to have that kind of equipments and phones, and which is all about economy. So we can reach every nook and corner of the world if we have internet connection, if we have the, gadget, and if you have the technical know-how. So if we are able to spread this in another 1 or 2 years, we are comfortably sitting in anywhere, anytime education. So this is a 325 crores business, online business. So how are we going to do justice to online learning, where we should be able to give quality learning? This is my question. Also, you can go ahead and do your question.
I think we can also talk about one other Mahatma that we have mentioned, because pretty much we have come to a full circle and we have other able speakers who are going to participate. My question is to Ramya, is there any other Mahatma in a crisp and a short form she can share her point? That's all I'm saying.
Sure, it will be like, a double advantage.
Whammy,
Yes.
double whammy.
Yep. So who is your second in line, Ramya? Which is the Mahatma you love?
I think I love Babuji, Gandhiji, our father of the nation.
Amazing.
Like, whenever I saw him, whenever I looked up to him, like, I think I was recently going through one of his book, My Experiments of Truths, and that helped me to understand him in a very better way. Like, I think his life has also been, like, he's been through a lot of things, and again, he chose to be, I got an entire view of like why he chose the non-violence against the violence. And I think he's one of the favorite, I would say, after Kalam sir.
But please do explain to us why he chose non-violence. If you could explain
In your own words.
in your own words. Yeah.
I think, sir, like when he went to study his law in South Africa, I think he faced a lot of discrimination. And that has been still happening everywhere, even in America or even in India. There are people who are still racist, who are still, condemning the people for their religion and everything. I think we'll have to like again look into the whole perspective of like they are like still a human being with dreams and they want to accomplish a lot in their life as well. So I think like that is why he chose non-violence, to be again a little bit compassionate, kind, and to be a little bit easygoing on the fellow beings. And that is why I love him. And I think he had a very strong friendship even with Mohammed Jinnah as well, that he mentions like how they started getting along together and they wanted to spread the non-violence across the country. So that is why I have a huge respect for him when he chose to do that, when everybody else wanted to like shed blood and they wanted the independence, but he stood by the non-violence, where he wanted to protect the people with peace and integrity as well. So that is one more thing that I wanted to say.
Yeah, Ramya, if we are there to see history, like India was very giant, like, Thailand, Tibet, Nepal, Cambodia, Philippines, all this was part of India. Sri Lanka, the last which was partitioned was Pakistan in 1947. Before that, also India was sliced, from 87 lakh kilometer to 37 lakh kilometers. So it was a giant India, big India, but still all of us, have love for India because Indians are everywhere. The 33% of the creamy layer of America is Indians. We produce intellectuals to the world. What is Indian Institute of Management doing? It produces people in such a way that they're already, even before coming out of their education, they're already a CEO material, or already there are vice president material or a president material. They are technologically sound. They know the psychology behind handling people, teams, interpersonal skills, communication. Anything you talk about leadership, Indians are there, because I believe, I strongly vouch, and I strongly think it's because of our stable family way. We all have stable families. We don't have challenges on daily basis of infidelity at home. It is usually father, mother, and children, and we remain, in spite of our differences. It is not that we don't have differences, but we chose to resolve. We chose to reckon and go forward and be there. So I think the basic family values, what we have, the joint family system, the Gurukul system, all that contributed to us to have value relationships. So even today we go and take the blessings of our grandparents. We sit and listen to them. We don't raise a voice in front of them. So how many families are there which, still holds the culture of what was being passed on by their ancestors? So there is loads of things in India which we can give to the world. So the first university in the world is from India. India gave the system. So we were talking about Gurukul system unless British invaded us. This system was so very powerful and the teachers were so very powerful. I think the economy of a country, the basic value system of a country depends on teachers, because teachers can create everything. With them, it is everything. Without them, there is nothing. And they can do anything. Yeah. So teachers are very powerful. Once you are a teacher, you're always a teacher. You don't need to have the tag and every day go to school and teach. You can be a teacher if you're taking some transformational and reformational classes or courses, or you're already an influencer, then it matters. Bapu was an influencer in his time when the only media available was newspapers. Didn't even, every house didn't even have a TV, isn't it? We didn't have, it was positive word of mouth which was spreading about him. So we are living in a age or an era where it is very powerful. If something happens in America, in no minute you will get it in your phone at the information is with you, and it is with crores of people today. So then what happens? We are able to make a difference. We are able to do do a phenomenal difference through education and education only. So Bapu also stood for education. He said, live as though you're going to die tomorrow, but learn as though you're going to live forever. So I believe in this quote, and I also believe in the quote of he saying, do things by example. People will believe, people will forget what you said, but people will believe what you did. So I did my MBA, I did my MCOM, I did my MA English, I did my PGDMM, I did my diploma in computers, I did my BEd, I did my IETD course. Then I keep learning. I keep writing exams every year. Just now I went to Dubai. I wrote a IELTS exam there and came back. So I believe in academics. I believe in learning. Learning is a lifelong thing. Education is just the medium. But after education, then what? What books are you reading? Whom are you meeting every day? What kind of impact you're giving? What is that job you're doing? Is it synced with the purpose of your life? Do you have a clarity of your purpose of your life? Because every day is ticking. The moment which is gone forever. And time is constant. Why time is constant? Because I won't call it a variable. I call it constant because every day you tick 24 hours, 86,400 seconds, you get it deposited into your account. And if you either you use it or don't use it, it's gone by the end of the day. It's gone. That's all. We can't overdraft it, or we cannot deposit it in somebody's account, or we cannot discount it. Nothing can be done. The time is very precious. Time is precious than gold. Once it's gone, it will never come back. So I would urge to the youth to especially, spend their time in education, in journaling, in learning, because not to take anything casually. They have to take their studies very seriously, because education, you have information all over, you can Google it, but what information to take? You need a mentor, you need a guru, you need someone who will say, out of the ocean, what is to be taken, what is the crux? You need to know the crux. So I would recommend, and I would request and appeal to the youth to love their teachers, go to the age-old method of understanding from their experience, because education you can take home, but experience you need to derive it from the person who has lived it, who has experienced it, who has gone through it completely. So this is my take. So like Mahatma Gandhi says, you have to, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. So you have to be ready to learn and ready to get into the grind. So that is what the Mahatmas teach us. Like, you should be, learning with open-mindedness. So lifelong learning is what you should vouch for. This is my take on that. And what is the message you have for audience, Ramya? That we are coming to the flag end of the program. I would love to ask, what is the message you want to give the audience?
I think like there's a lot of content that's outside on the internet. I think there are a lot of influencers, but we have like real-time influencers who were there even before, and
Yeah.
which is not recorded on the videos, but it's recorded in the book. I think we need to like get in touch with the books, and we need to like acquaint a lot of knowledge, because like everybody has given us a thread to the future. They have like given us, like how sir said, a plan of action. It's already there in the books. I think we need to like go through all of these, and I think with the people whom we follow, I think will become who we want to become through them. So that's what I believe.
Yes, we all become, right? See, what we were 10 years before, we are not today. And what we are today, we are not after 10 years. So life is constantly changing. Change is constant. Again, change is the only constant thing which you can vouch on. All the others are variables. Life keeps moving. The child which was born is growing. The growth is inevitable. Death is inevitable. The moment we are born, we are walking towards the grave. But change is constant because change keeps happening. Change before change changes you. And I love Mahatma Gandhi's quote, "You be the change you want to see in the world." He says his life is his message. So when you want to be the change in the world, you can change the world in a gentle way only by doing what it takes. You cannot ask your child not to be lazy by you getting up at 10 o'clock in the morning, isn't it? So lead by example is the only way we can change the world, and we can do something phenomenal and put a dent in this society. And I love your message, and I love that you love APJ Abdul Kalam and Bapuji, Mahatma Gandhi ji as well. So one thing I would love to let you know, Ramya, I'm so glad in the second year, you're so very clear and sorted. You have a crisp goal, you have clarity, you want to help the world. You're just not preaching, you're practicing as well. So I want to let you know that I'm super impressed and inspired by you. God bless you and have a great future. Is there anything
Thank
else
you, ma'am.
also? It's over from my end. So I always close my talk by giving a dedication. Sorry, please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. God bless you. And over to Dr. Dawson Jasper James if he has anything to ask, and it's over from my side. Thank you.
It's only 3 B's.
Okay.
I learned it from Dr. Sangeeta Mani, my professor from college.
Okay.
Believe, behold, become. This is the mantra of life. You want transformation? Believe, behold, become. That is the transformation. And I'm so glad today's conversation was so uplifting personally for me. And I'm hoping this is a blessing for everybody else. And this is a content for Mother Teresa. And let us shine and let us be the salt and the light of the world. That's all I have to say. Thank you, Doctor, for the opportunity.
Thank you very much. I also believe
I'm also,
yeah,
I would like to like thank you and Dawson sir for like initiating this. This is like an amazing platform where you're giving the youth a chance to vocalize their thoughts, and it is actually making us think like, whom do we want to follow? I think this is a great opportunity for all of us to like follow all the 4 Mahatmas, and they can become a instrument for us to become who we become tomorrow again.
Yeah, we have to read. The more you read about Mahatmas, the more you will get inspiration to walk and make your life better. So because we have only one life, isn't it? We live every day, we die only once. So we have to live a life which is very fulfilling. I always say concentrate on your health, wealth and happiness. Concentrate on people who are good for your mental health. Concentrate on the work which can make a phenomenal difference in the society. So it is all easy said than done. So let us do something phenomenal. Let's just do it.
Yes.
So thank you very much. God bless you all. I'm ending this meeting. And thanks for giving this content to Mother Teresa University. It's a dedication. And from tomorrow onwards, professors and facilitators will show up. I am profusely thanking all my interns for supporting me and supporting us in this endeavor. God bless you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.